Hey, this is PJ with CLK Supplies, and I'm going to give you a tour of the Keyline Gymkhana 994 electronic key machine. Now, that is a mouthful, isn't it? But the Gymkhana 994 is a machine that not only duplicates or decodes, but it also originates keys. Now, primarily with the automotive focus. Now, there's a little bit more to that. I'm gonna save that for the end here, okay? But as far as edge style automotive keys go and high security automotive style keys go, the Keyline Gymkhana 994 does it all. Now, what makes it special, what makes it unique is that it only uses one clamp, okay, for let's just call it just about all, okay? Just about. That's a technical term, by the way. And so you just have the one clamp and it uses one cutter and one tracer. So you don't have to interchange the tracer or the cutter depending on if it's an edge or high security. They've just simplified it and they've made it really easy. Another thing is that the Keyline machines in general, they use their own like tablet, right? So it doesn't look and feel like a normal tablet. It's very specific to their software. Now, as far as software goes, okay, just like all the other manufacturers out there, they all have their like proprietary operating software. So it's really important that you get to know that software really well. And I'm gonna show you some of the basic features here in a few minutes using my favorite, the 80-20 principle, where I'm gonna give you 20% of the information that's gonna cover about 80% of what you'll do on a day-to-day basis with the machine. Now, if you don't know very much about Keyline, they've been manufacturing key machines for a very long time, and I really respect the quality of them. But there's one issue more than anything that is so important to me when it comes to key machines or any sort of equipment that requires an investment, and that is good tech support. And Keyline has it. So without further ado, let's go ahead, let's hop on that machine, let's cut a couple keys, I'll show you around a little bit on all the stuff that you need to know. But really quick, before we get started, I want to let you in on the Gymkhana 994's secret weapon, and that is the M-Jaw. The M-Jaw cuts standard style keys like a KW1 and SC1 on the machine. All you have to have is that clamp, all right? Now, I'll be going over that in a separate video, but I just want to make sure you're in the know when it comes to the secret weapon of the Gymkhana. But let's go ahead and get started. All right, so here we are. This is the home screen of the Gymkhana 994. Now, like I said, I'm going to be going over the basic features that you'll be using on a day-to-day basis with this machine. And you really have three different options here. You can search by vehicle, you can search by codes, and you can search by the key blank. All right, so for this example, let's go ahead and let's search by vehicle. And let's go ahead and let's cut a H75 key by code. So we'll start typing in Ford right here. Ford USA, and then we'll hit the next button. Now, the two buttons you have to really get used to is the back and the next button. Those are ones you're going to use all the time. A lot of times I want to like try to double click on it and I can't get it to go through. That's because you have to hit the next button. So we're going to click that there, and let's go to actually F150. We'll go next. Okay, so now it's going to bring you up to this screen here, okay? Now, something that's always super important, if you've watched any of my other videos, is anytime you're working on any sort of key, you want to know the master, the code series if you can, okay? You want to know what the code series is to make sure whatever you're getting ready to do, whether it's decode or originate, knowing the code series is going to keep you out of 99% of all the trouble out there. So as you can see, this one's actually already highlighted, but that's the code series right there that we're going to be using for this vehicle. Right now, this would automatically, if we had a 2010 Ford F-150, well, that falls between the 96 and the 2014. So that's how we know that. We'll go ahead and hit the next button again. Now this is going to bring you up to this screen here where it's going to give us all of our options here. We can decode, we can cut by code, and we can go direct. Now I want to show you really quick this direct, because this is really important if you do a lot of decoding of locks. For example, on this Ford here, on the standard Ford door lock, it's only going to have cuts 1 through 6 in it. So if you were to decode a door lock, you would need to still get cuts 7 and 8 that are only found in the ignition. So what you could do is, after you got done decoding the door lock, you could enter the cuts right here. And so let's just say you had a 2, 4, 2, 4, 5, 4. Okay, so those are the cuts you found, and you're missing the 2 remaining. Once you get those put in there, just go ahead and hit Find Codes, and it's going to pull up all possible key codes that have that same bitting. As you can see here, 3 different ones have popped up. So at that point, you would need to cut each one of these, and it'd take you up to 3 keys if you needed to get the final key. So that's a really handy feature here. Let's go back and let's get in here to codes, and let's put in a code, and let's cut this Ford key by code. So let's go ahead and put the code in 1701X. Now you always want to make sure that you're putting exactly how the codes are listed here. So if I were to not put an X on the end of it, it's not going to work. So you got to make sure you have that X on there. Then we'll hit next. Now it's going to pop this up here, and then now we're going to hit next again, so we can cut the key. All right, so it's going to tell us it's the U clamp, which is very common, and you're going to see the U1 as the placement stop to put it there. Now, that is like get it close to there, okay? So it's not identical. As you can see here on the screen, or on the clamp here, as you can see these little lasered in marks here. Now those are a suggestion. So when I go and I take this Ford key and I just put it in here, I'm gonna just, get it fairly close to that U01, and that's gonna be good enough. Now I haven't talked to them why they have this set up here, because the machine's actually gonna decode and touch the key, find it, calibrate it, make sure we're good to go. My guess is why it's there is they really want to make sure that you're putting all the cuts that are available to be decoded or cut are going to be available to actually do so. So if you were to take this Ford key and only put it to like the U5 mark, some of the cuts might be missing, and that's going to be the problem there. So it's really a suggestion. Don't worry too much about it. Just go ahead and get it in there pretty close, clamp it down, and let's go ahead and let's cut the key. So we'll go ahead and hit cut. Now, what you're going to see here is it's going to do quite a bit of calibrating, which is why you always want to make sure that the entire jaw is free of key shavings. So we'll go ahead here, just kind of let it do its thing, and you'll be able to kind of see everything it's calibrating and getting it all figured out to get you an accurate key. All right, and there you have it. So that is how the Gymkhana is going to cut a standard edge style automotive key. Now we'll go ahead and get this key out here. Now it's so important that you get this jaw super clean. Like I would not even attempt to cut it with these shavings on here like that. I mean, you want to get them all off, all right? So we'll get that nice and clean. Okay, just like that. Now let's go ahead. If you look, so on the screen here, it just says cut complete, please remove key. So we did that, we're good to go. And that is how you're going to cut a key by code on this machine here. So let's go to the home screen, and now let's go into cutting a Honda high security key. Now, like I said earlier in the intro to this video, the shining part, the really cool feature about this machine is that we're not gonna have to change the clamp, we're not gonna have to change the cutter, nor are we gonna have to change the decoder. Everything is exactly the same, whether you're cutting the high security style automotive keys or the edge style. So all we have to do now is we'll just get in here and we'll cut by code, or decode is what we'll do on this one. So now we did vehicles last time. I showed you how the codes work. Let's go to key blanks and let's look this Honda up with keys. Now, so what we'll do is we'll type in the key blank number. So we'll go HO. Okay, so we'll be able to find it right here. It's technically a HO03, not a H0, but that's one of those weird parts about key blanks and the different numbers. So that's something you'll keep learning over time as you go. Now, I'm just giving you this as an example. You can always go back and go search by code or vehicle, but let's just do key blanks for fun here. So now we're there. Let's go ahead and hit next. Now, once again, it's going to bring us up all sorts of different code series. Now, you'll see all of these, the root of all of these is the same. So that's the real interesting part about this particular code series. So we'll just go ahead and choose one for this one. So let's go, I don't know, let's choose this one right here and we'll go next. Now, once we're here, let's go ahead and let's decode. Now, once that we make sure that the jaw is clear here from all the little shavings, we'll go ahead and put the key in that we want to decode. So I'm going to bring it right up here to that U0. Just eye it. Just get it close. It's perfectly fine. We'll clamp it down. We'll close the shield and we'll hit next. Now it's going to go ahead and it's going to decode this key. Now I can't stress the importance of actually watching and seeing where the decoder is hitting on each one of the cuts. Okay, that's the number one way you're going to figure out if you have everything correct. If it's not hitting those exactly, well then you know you have some problems and need to go back to the drawing board. All right, now that it has it decoded and it's gonna say decode complete. All right, so we're gonna have it all there now. Now, just super easy, we just put a new key in and cut it. So we'll go ahead and take this original key out. Once again, you always wanna make sure this is nice and clear. And then we'll stick the blank key in to cut. We'll bring it up there to the U0. Just like that, we'll hit the next button here, U0, and we'll hit cut. All right, now that we have one side done, is what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this key out, we'll rotate it around. Now, like I said, you can see all these shavings on here. We wanna get those gone before we put the key back in, all right? So we'll get all of those removed, just like that. We'll flip the key around, put it back in up to that U0, and we'll cut the other side. Alright, and now this key is done. It is that simple to decode and then cut a key like this Honda high security key. Alright, and there you have it, the Gymkhana 994 by Keyline. I would love to know what you think in the comments below, and be on the lookout for a video where I just go over the Gymkhana's secret weapon, the M-Jaw. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Since you just watched this video, I'm guessing that you work with locks and keys. And to us at CLK Supplies, that makes you a lock boss. And we want to hook you up. Here's how it works. Throughout the week, join the conversation and comment on our posts and videos and include the hashtag LockBoss. It's free to enter this giveaway. And every Tuesday, we're going to pick 5 winners from the previous week and hook you up with all sorts of prizes, including gear, tools, supplies. We might even send you a key machine or buy you lunch. So if you're a lock boss, join us every week to learn, grow, and win.